I just want to just maybe talk a little bit more about what record labels are kind of meant to do. I mean, we talked about earlier, some labels have a lot of money, some of them don't. Indie labels seem to kind of do just about everything for bands now, book gigs and manage and organise rehearsals, and et cetera, maybe, from each of you, what's your view of what an indie label should do? Because I think probably the bulk of us here are going to be releasing records on indies and, as opposed to pitching to a major.
Well, my idea of what we should do is a lot different to what my boss's ideas are. I still believe that we should try and should put a lot of these acts on the shelves, but then it also comes back to what, you're also dealing with retailers out there. What is the reason for some store in Mount Isa to stock your CD? You need to have it all out there when you've got something happening and it's hot. As far as chasing labels now, until you're hot and you're out there and people want it, there's really no point to go down that label and company avenues until it's happening. And then you've still only got a short window space at retail where you can have your stock in the store. The Sanity or HMV, they're going to pull it off the shelf after a month of it sitting there and not turning over. They're looking at stock turns every week. And if you're not hitting the store at the right time, while you've got a tour, while you're on air, while your video's on Video Hits and Rage, it's just not going to happen. You've got to get out there, make it happen for yourselves. I think once it does, and you do get the snowball effect happening, and it will roll on for you once you do get that airplay. I think there's a lot sort of behind that, as far as getting it out there. And you're dealing with a lot of other businesses as well. All these little mums and dad stores have closed up, shrunk down, been taken over by majors. And really, the music industry's changed a lot as far as retail goes. You're going to have trouble getting your stock on the shelf. It actually costs us money to put stock on the shelf in those retail stores. So someone like EMI and Sony, they're buying up shelf space for Christmas now. It's already done. You release a CD next week, it's not going to have space. And probably no matter how good it is, it's going to struggle to get space in the retail store now. I just think there's a lot of behind the scenes things. Once you do get with a label, they're able to instruct you and work you through that. So
you see labels kind of key role as sort of representing and pushing it out at retail?
Well, we need to have the phone calls from the retailers saying, I need to have that. Our reps can go out there and be pushing the product, but until one fan walks into that store and asks for it, you could be anybody to that store. The kid behind the counter is 17, never heard of you. So, that's a little bit of a struggle straight away. So having reps out there in the stores talking about the young bands and stuff, and, Daryl's been a rep for ages. He'd go in and talk about, Robbie Williams for 3 years before it breaks. It's a struggle to get it in there. So.
Daryl, do you see that as a key for labels, that representation? Not just at retail, but, someone really going out there and selling it for you?
Yeah, it is. I mean, when you sign to a major, and there is sort of two forms with EMI. I mean, we've got a lot of partnerships with indie labels, basically. With Rubber Records, we distribute Below Par, which is also in conjunction with 11 Records as well. There's quite a few independents which are with us as well, and there are kind of different agreements that we do. For instance, with Rubber, at the moment we're basically, EMI themselves are actively only working one of their acts, which is the Exploders, which we're working on a promotion level as well as a sales level. Everything else that Rubber has, we're just working as a sales level. So I guess that's sort of another can of worms, but basically when you sign to a major label, what you're essentially doing is employing a workforce of about 100 people. You're employing a promotions manager in each state. You're employing a couple of sales reps in each state. And also a lot of people in Sydney. And you've got people in Melbourne that are talking to Kmart and Target, and in Sydney that are talking to Big W and Sanity and all those sort of people. So it's quite a big thing that all of a sudden you've signed the dotted line, and those people are now they're basically working for you. And also digital is a really big thing, and EMI it's really still in its infancy for us, but we're slowly building our team. So obviously, if you sign to a major, you're getting that benefit as well. That you were going to be pitched to the major telcos, and and all the online stores. So it is a real, you are essentially employing about 100 people.
Dave, you think that kind of cheer squad component's what labels need to do to go out and sell it? Because it can be hard when you're an artist
I guess
to sell your own music.
I'll get back to the question, which was what the indie label should do, which was okay. So, I mean, the main job that the main reason you sign to a label, if you're going to sign to a label, or if you start your own label as an indie label, is publicity, promotion, and marketing. Okay, they're the three most important things to actually selling your record, apart from playing live and having your records distributed. Okay, they're two totally different aspects. But the promotion, marketing, and advertising, I think of some labels just totally gets blurred and doesn't get looked at and gets ignored. And those things can be broken down into basic areas. Promotion means actually doing promotion, promoting the product. Publicity is actually sourcing publicity for that particular release or record or band, which means, as Jamie said, and Daryl said, is getting exposure in as many magazines or print areas as possible, or getting as much play on radio as you can, or getting as much exposure on TV as you can. So they're your publicity angles. Your marketing is your advertising and so forth, which is actually buying advertising, where you think you're going to get the best effect and actually get the best result, and actually, coerce people, I guess, into going into retail to buy your product. So those three things, I believe, are the most important thing, and they're the things that I discuss with my labels and the labels that I also have bands signed to on pretty much a daily basis. And if I don't do that on a daily basis, then I don't think my band is getting looked after properly, and I don't think things are getting done to the level I think they should be getting done. And when a band gets to a point where they're busy and they're selling records and selling tickets, then there's hundreds of things to do every week on all three of those levels: publicity, promotion, and marketing, to take the act to the next level. So I believe that indie labels, when they sign acts, should be doing all those things on just a smaller scale than what a major label does. The only difference being with the indie is the indie may have 2 or 3 bands, or maybe 5 or 6, where the major will have probably 50 to 100 bands. Not working at any one time, but they'll definitely have a lot more going on than the indie label. So the indie label can actually have a bit more focus on a handful of products, and sometimes can get better results, but that's not often the case. It just depends on the the individual circumstance and the act.